Hi YouTube, it's Sunday again, and today I thought I'd talk about modern scholarship, ancient sources, and what I think is important there. A couple of people have asked questions about that lately, and it revolves around why it is that I really just dumped modern scholarship and just rejected it out of hand, and chose to go just strictly with the ancient sources on this stuff. And my biggest fear going into this was cross-contamination. When I started this whole exploration adventure into the Bible, I recognized very quickly that modern scholarship could be detrimental to what I was doing, because I could pick up an idea by reading these modern sources and then run with it. And if the idea was based in a poor premise, then I was screwed. I could base a whole lot of just flat out false conclusions on a bad premise. And that's why I dumped modern scholarship and I went for the sources myself. My attitude has changed a little bit since then. Over the last few weeks especially, I've gotten to the point where it's really just not a problem for me to read modern scholars. I'm getting ready to start reading Elaine Pagels and Bart Ehrman. I want to see where there are holes in their scholarship, where there are concepts that could be incorporated into what I'm doing. There's also the idea of where are we complementary to each other, and where is there some other external substantiation by modern scholarship. So that's what I'm going to be looking at, because I feel quite confident now that none of the modern scholars are going to be able to upload my model. So I feel quite confident of that now. And I am planning on going through, especially Elaine Pagels and Bart Ehrman. Elaine Pagels has done a lot of work on Gnostic theology, and Gnosticism is not something that I've talked about quite a lot on my channel, but it is something that has become more and more fascinating. It took me months to figure out what the heck they were talking about in Gnosticism, and then once I started to pick up little bits of it here and there. And now I got a pretty good idea what Gnostics are talking about. So, but I am interested now in more modern Gnostic scholarship on these sources. These are the sources that were mostly rejected. So, I don't see any problem with going and finding out what other scholars have to say with that. And I already have a good idea of where I think they line up. So, let's see what's next. I don't know if I have a heck of a lot else. I'm still working on the book. It's been occurring to me recently that once I get this book out, that I probably can do some really cool stuff on video, particularly talking about every text of the Apocrypha, every text of the New Testament, every early Christian father. And I could tell you what they're doing. I could tell you what they're thinking. And that's awesome. That has been a great side effect of this whole process, is I know what they're thinking. People I was not totally oblivious to other people's opinions on things like Irenaeus and Eusebius going in. I had heard the idea that Eusebius was just a liar. Now, strangely, they didn't focus on Irenaeus, because Irenaeus is actually more questionable, I think, than Eusebius. But Eusebius and Irenaeus I found to be very, very honest about what they knew, what they believed to be true. They weren't being factual, but I didn't see him as lying. And it turned out to be a really cool experiment, because I was able to accept a heck of a lot of sources that I wouldn't have to accept otherwise, and a lot of people just reject out of hand. But I didn't have to reject anything. Even Papias, who I thought or initially might even be forged. I don't have to reject Papias at all. You know, I can incorporate him right into my model. So really interesting stuff there. And that's one of the cool things. Once I get this book out, I can start talking about like hundreds of texts, and I can treat them individually, and that'll be pretty cool. Because I should be able to support my own model in every single text of the Apocrypha, New Testament, and the early church fathers. That's pretty cool. Anyhow, I think that's all I've got for you today. I will be getting into modern scholarship more. So, and my attitude has changed on that. There's apparently a wealth of Elaine Pagels books downtown at the library, so I'm probably going to hit that on Monday. But that's all I got for you today. Thanks a lot, folks. Bye.